Episode 152. He couldn't cast Shadow Cloak, and Zhou Yebo couldn't set up a ghost formation either. Ghost formations aren't instant cast skills, they're channeled spells that require a cast time. If I cast it so openly, it'll definitely get interrupted. You can't just openly cast a ghost array. His White Knight Black Day, however, stood out in the open. Seeing his plan foiled, he immediately swung his blade in a ghost slash. Of course, ghost blades aren't just for setting up ghost arrays to support the team. They also have a few skills for direct attacks. Though ghost slash is a low-level skill, its straight line damage is incredibly potent. The downside is its painfully slow recovery. It leaves you wide open. But Zhou Yebo had calculated the distance, thinking he had enough time to pull back his strike. That's why he dared to take the shot. Many of the Ghost Blade's skills are innately dark, elemental, and Ghost Slash is one of them. It fits the grim atmosphere of the burial grounds perfectly. A dark purple sword, light descended like a thunderbolt, radiating an extraordinary, chilling aura of slaughter. Unfortunately, the direction from which night and day emerged was aimed squarely at the right flank of the five-man cross formation, which was precisely where Lord Grim stood among the five. As the Ghost Slash descended, Lord Grim's myriad manifestations' umbrella suddenly snapped open. No fancy tricks. This time, it was truly unadorned. The umbrella was just an umbrella, but this gave Zhou Yebo pause. To his eyes, this form and this usage could never be mistaken for an umbrella. In his eyes, this was clearly a shield. Beyond bolstering defense and drawing aggro, a shield's true value lies in its resistance to knockdowns, knockbacks, stuns, launches, bleeds, and stuns. It also provides strong resistance to knockdowns, knockbacks, stuns, launches, bleeds, and all sorts of other status effects. Of course, that's assuming you actually block the attack with your shield. So from this perspective, a shield's effectiveness isn't just about its stats or size. It's also a crucial factor that directly impacts its effectiveness in combat. But a larger area means a larger volume, and a larger volume means greater weight. Greater weight means higher encumbrance, and encumbrance directly impacts movement speed, attack speed, jump height, and more, all of which are interconnected. So striking the right balance is a crucial matter. Shields are already incredibly heavy equipment. Making them even a single size larger adds a weight that's far from insignificant. Just blindly chasing a bigger shield and turning yourself into a slow-moving turtle is definitely not the way to go. At that moment, Lord Grim unfurled the 1,000 Chance umbrella. To Zhou Yebo, this shield was just shamelessly huge. His White Knight, Black Day, Ghost Slash, of course, ended up striking the myriad manifestations umbrella. He then realized that Lord Grim had actually been forced back a few steps by the slash. The Ghost Slash carries a slight knockback effect, but it's not very strong. Against a standard level 25 shield, that knockback effect would have been completely negated. But when Ghost Slash struck Lord Grim's shield, although it didn't send him flying, but it still produced a knockback effect. Zhou Yebo saw this and instantly knew that while this shield was large in area, but it's far too light, which is why its defensive effect is so poor. This light shield has two major flaws. First, its defense is poor.
Second, its durability is far too low for a shield.
Shields burn through durability faster than any other piece of gear. It's in a league of its own. The shield in Lord Grim's hand was so light it couldn't even fully resist the knockback effect of Ghost Slash. Zhou Yebo reckoned that if a Knight MT were to wield this shield, it probably wouldn't last through a single dungeon run. Zhou Yebo's assessment was spot on. The shield form of the 1,000 Chance umbrella also weighed in at 2.3 kilograms. Its durability is only 23 for a shield. That's practically a worthless stat. But the shield's base stats are actually quite solid. At level 25, the Myriad Umbrella's shield form provides a 24% defense boost and a 16% damage absorption rate, putting it on par with a level 35 purple tier shield. The 1,000 Chance Umbrella's shield form had been enhanced twice, first by the powerful Spider Silk, and then by the White Wolf's hair, had already reached its level 25 attributes. The myriad manifestations umbrella blocked the ghost's slash, but it still took some damage. But after taking the hit, the umbrella's canopy instantly snapped forward, and in that instant, it even seemed as if some of the ghost slash's sword light was being drawn into the umbrella's tip. The umbrella's canopy snapped forward, already transformed into a spear, and thrust straight toward White Knight Black Day. Zhou Yebo was a pro player, but this kind of transformation was a first for him. As a result, the recovery time he'd calculated for his ghost slash fell just a bit short. He was still there, posing. Lord Grim's spear was already thrusting forward, piercing him, while Tang Ru's soft mist launched her own attack. The sight was eerily similar to Xiao Yun's earlier predicament, also burdened with 7 ice whirl glyphs. But Xiao Yun's Cloud Piercer, tragically, failed to land a single hit on Lord Grim during that entire 30-second window. The ice-chilling spheres vanished one by one. Now, as Han Yanru charged forward, she caught Zhang Moxiao in the brief stagger from his just-executed Dragon Tooth, and answered with a Dragon Tooth of her own. Bei Haizhou, still reeling from the ice spiral, couldn't dodge a thing. The frosted crystal orb smashed right into his face, instantly coating him in a chilling mist. He was slow. Zhou Yebo was no match for Ye Xiu alone, let alone with Tang Ru fighting alongside him. Ye Xiu controlled the fight, while Tang Ru dealt the damage. Together, they made Zhou Yebo's White Knight Black Day's health drain away like water. A Gauss Blade isn't exactly a high defense class. His cloth armor was as weak as a mage's. 7 ice chasers streaked through the air, homing in on White Knight Black Day. Arcane orbs are auto-targeting. To avoid them, you have to knock them away with an attack. Zhou Yebo scrambled frantically, managing to deflect only 2 of the 7 ice chasers. The other 5 struck home. Fortunately, the chaser is a magic attack. A Ghost Blade, its physical defense is like a layer of cloth, but their magical defense was on par with a mage's. Tian Qi, Mid-Month Slumber, and Steamed Bun Invasion. They had already received Ye Xiu's signal and were charging in. Ye Xi's Lord Grim sidestepped, then swung his staff in a wide arc, smashing it into White Knight Black Day. With a forceful throw, he slammed him down. Midnight Moon immediately leapt into Lord Grim's former position. The coordination looks a bit rough. But when White Knight Black Day rose to his feet, he found himself trapped in the very center of a 5-man cross formation. He was now surrounded and targeted by 4 players at once. It all happened in the blink of an eye. Gao Yinji hastily maneuvered fallen leaves and crying crows, soaring in on his broomstick. Ye Xiao's Lord Grim had already moved to intercept. As the dispersed powder scattered, Lord Grim opened his myriad manifestations umbrella, holding it up just like a real parasol, and strolled casually past. After blocking the dispo powder, he executed another gather, snaring Ye Luo Wu Ti just as it was passing overhead. Zhao Yingji reacted swiftly, but this time he was caught. Then came the round staff, a quick flip of the wrist, and Ye Luo Wu Ti was also hurled right into the center of that cross formation. And we're now back with White Knight Black Day, getting pummeled by the surrounding players. Comrade Lo Fei's fallen angel, having finally waited for his comrades to arrive as backup. But the moment he stepped out from behind the tombstone, before he could even react, this week, Zhou Yebo and Zhao Yingji were speared into the circle one after the other, like fish on a line. Liu Fei realized something was wrong. She suddenly saw Lord Grim's figure flicker. The moment she panicked, a falling blossom palm struck her from behind. Fallen angel was blasted away. Over there, Han Yanru thrust her spear, skewering the fallen angel and pinning him inside the circle. For Tang Ru and the other 3 to try and trap 3 pro players like this, that was impossible. But under Ye Xiu's command, and with him personally joining the fight after completing his own task, the 3 of them could only feel utterly helpless. Pro players, they scoffed. In that moment, none of the 3 felt like one, whether it was Zhou Yebo and Liu Fei with their formal competition experience. or the exceptionally talented future star Zhao Yingji, were all little fish caught in the net, facing fists, feet bricks, swords, spears, and lances. They had everything they needed, and all three were looking for a chance to break out, no longer caring about appearances, shouting and yelling. They called out to each other, but somehow the opponent always seemed to see right through their intentions, anticipating their moves and countering them before they could strike. All three of them were left utterly helpless. Zhou Yebo's White Knight Black Day had the lowest defense of the three characters. Once again, he was the first to get pummeled, and ultimately, the first to fall. Zhou Yebo also slammed his keyboard in fury, but as his gaze shifted, something suddenly occurred to him. He roared, his voice thick with frustration. "Yifan, where the hell have you been?"